So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to another live show with James Rowe and myself. We've just been shooting the breeze, actually. Yeah, a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about. I guess maybe once this show is ended. But yeah, I've got James Rowe back with me. James, how have you been keeping, fella?
Yeah, really, really good, thank you. I celebrate my 18-year anniversary in Amsterdam in 5 days' time, so feeling a little bit of melancholy of the impending celebration, really, the impending milestone. It's just it's been a life's work. I've given my life to be successful in this country, and it's fortunate it's worked out.
Has it gone fast?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
You notice, I'm sure people will. We're watching this show. We go worldwide. We did a podcast on languages. We show not just the football side of things, but the human side of things. Anyone watching who's created a life for themselves abroad, they will know that it happens in periods and it happens in levels. You don't become world class overnight. It's like preparing a meal and bringing the meal to the table. More times you do it, the more plates you've got, the more ability you've got, and it's just knowing exactly what to do. And I'm proud as punch. I can still remember that day in my bedroom in the summer of 2004 when I rang the Dutch embassy to gain information to live and work in the Netherlands. And in October, I celebrate 4 years working at the Amsterdam City Council. So it's
really? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and but the pride involved in that job, Alex, for a Londoner to be part of the Amsterdam City Council history, for a Londoner to cajole his colleagues, for a Londoner to be able to speak in Dutch to his colleagues, to be a real pillar. I say to my colleagues that are born and raised here, I say, don't forget to enjoy yourself. And they smile because it's not just a job, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. And if you'd have said to me that I'd go on to achieve what I've achieved, to quote Brian Clough when he was talking about Alex Ferguson, he's had so much success, he's staggered everybody. So I'd like to think for the people that knew of me when I lived in the UK, that worked with me when I lived in the UK, that went to school with me in the UK, but listened to me on this platform and also on TalkSport, it's the same guy, still humble, still modest, and I'd like to think the best is yet to come.
Well said, well said. But you know what, James, before we kick this one off, I've got to say a big thank you to Dave Nathan, who is I think club secretary, super fan of Dial Square FC, for sending me this top the home and away kit. They've been promoted Surrey Western Premier Division champions. So thank you for the gift, and I hope to make it to the games next season. So Dave and everybody else at Dial Square FC, thank you so very much for the gifts. Cheers.
Very nice shade of red as well.
It is, yeah. And it fits as well, James.
No two-tone red, like on a badge.
Right, so let's get into this one. James, before we talk about Champions League football, I want to get your thoughts about the game. Bournemouth, my goodness, 3-0.
Yeah, a good win, but afterwards, Arteta saying, we've got to stay humble, we've got to keep doing our job and pray. And then, as I said to you when we were lining up to get ready to come on tonight, George Graham didn't have to pray, did he? He won 2 of them. When it was a lot harder from what it is now, it was harder back then than what it is now, and he won 2 in 3 years.
Yeah.
And he was unlucky not to win in '93. There's a great quote from Ian Wright, that said that yes, we were Cup Kings of '93. But we also should have won the league, and I think he's absolutely right on that. And but we've got our memories. That's the most important thing. And we've seen league titles. I've seen 5 of them, and you've seen them as well.
Yeah.
We've seen European finals. We've seen 2 European finals consecutively. One of them we lost. One of them we won. We've got our memories, and nobody can take those away from us, and that's vitally important.
Absolutely. So you know what? Let's get on with the meat of the matter. and that is a Champions League football. Listen, left field, but that's just the way Canal 4 TV is going. Not for much longer, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. James, so yes, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Thoughts going to the second leg. How do you see this one going, James?
Well, historically, Bayern Munich have knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League 5 times in their history. I expect it to be 6. And I think that Bayern Munich will win in the Bernabeu. I don't know if they'll win in 90 minutes. I think they will. I think it'll be a 1-0 win. I fancy a Thomas Müller goal, and the intelligence of the man is just absolutely incredible. He gave an interview to Jamie Carragher, Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Michael Richards, and impeccable English, but I thought the great quote, and this is what a real teammate is, and he's a real teammate, to say to an English-speaking audience, Harry Kane's German is not as bad as what you think it is. What must that do to Harry Kane? That must make, he's got my back. He's looking after me. I sat in Thomas Müller's seat at the tour of the Bayern Munich Stadium when I went to the Allianz, and that of Harry Kane, and that of Matthijs de Ligt. And I walked around the change room as if I was Thomas Tuchel for a couple of minutes. But he's got Neuer a couple of seats down, and Neuer 440 appearances for Bayern Munich, 150 appearances for Schalke, 11 Bundesliga titles. Just this club is what Arsenal used to be like that in the mid-90s. Just a core of people that cared. Danny Fisman, Ken Fryer, David Dean, Peter Hill-Wood, they cared. And now it's just an Americanization of Arsenal. We'll be San Francisco Reds before too long. And I just think to myself, that we've got our memories. This is the most important thing. It's the most important thing. And next season, we've always respected each other's opinions in the 5 years. I've been speaking on Cannon Fodder, and this is the penultimate show previewing the semi-finals. We've always looked to educate people. We've always looked to give them information they can use. This isn't agenda. This is information, passing on our knowledge to them, giving it to them free of charge. I've respected your opinion the whole season long that you expect Arteta to still be in a job if we don't win the league. I believe you're right. I feel you're right. I've been saying the whole season long, no trophy, no job. But my response to the Arsenal fans that think it's all right to be nearly men, my response to the Arsenal fans that's never seen us win a league title, never seen us win a Champions League, my response to those fans is, where do you draw the line? Maybe they're not familiar with the saying, where do you draw the line? Maybe they have no idea what it means. But from my point of view, Alex, next season I will vote with my feet. I will choose the game that I want to go to. It will probably be European, and even then it will be the opponent which dictates which one I go to. If I haven't seen the opponent before, a Bayer Leverkusen, a Girona, a Stuttgart, a Leipzig, and Arsenal draw them at home in the 4 home games that they get in the Champions League, then I'd quite like that for a 36 European game watching Arsenal Football Club. But my petition to donate our place to Crystal Palace fell on deaf ears, but wasn't meant to be, was it?
James, about drawing the line, and the bigger picture, I think, for a certain segment of the fan base will probably say, well, there's been incremental performances. We've gone from 2 8th place finishes, then 4th, then what happened last season, and this time we're probably a little bit closer. But for me, I'm not buying it, James. I'm not buying it. Again, sorry to sound, for a lot of the people watching now, anti-Arsenal. I'm not anti-Arsenal. I just want my club, again, just to win major honours. And in which profession do you go straight to the top?
Nobody goes. Nobody.
I'm trying to think. Nowhere.
No, but We've enabled this. We've enabled this. We have made a rod for our own back. But people forget we've won 47 trophies. So should we just chuck those trophies in the bin? Is it all about branding now? If it was all about branding, you'd think you'd bang the drum about those trophies till the cows come home, wouldn't you? But European football, we've used European football as a cash cow. You walk around the museum of Bayern, they have cardboard cutouts of the managers that have won the Champions League. Hansi Flick, Dietmar Kramer, Udo Lattek, and Ottmar Hitzfeld, Jupp Heynckes. And there's information about them, what they won, who they were, what they achieved, And I just think that it's like, as Terry said, he's joined us on a couple of podcasts, rage against the dying of the light. It's just wanting to be seen as relevant. Well, if you win trophies and you're in the mix, you can stay relevant. You ain't got to do nothing. I don't expect Arsenal to win doubles and trebles every year. But what I do expect is my club to be in the mix. And what I also expect is I don't expect my board of my club to accept what will be 4 full seasons with over £700 million for investment, and for it to be all right. It's okay. Away you go, Edu, and away you go, Mikel. His predecessor is on the verge of getting Aston Villa from relegation places to the Champions League in 1 full season. Now, if we'd have kept hold of him, how different would our club be? But again, it's people manufacturing a narrative that suits them. But again, it's a big old world out there. Football's played in all different countries around the world. There's some great players that don't play for Arsenal. There's some former players. If you notice how former players that leave the club go on to become successful.
Yes.
Olivier Giroud, Granit Xhaka, Alexis Sanchez, Giroud was a recent Serie A champion. Sanchez, current Italian champion. Xhaka, current German champion. We used to have them all in the same team. Unreal, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know, James, but Arsenal in recent history have not been a club to sack the manager. So is it not more of the same? He's been with us 4 seasons and a bit. 4 seasons.
Yeah. But is that not enough then? Is that not enough? Is that no? I know what you think, but what I'm trying to explain to people is that you only get out what you put in. You don't put in enough, you won't get out enough. And we're just, as a club, we're just going through the motions. It's all right to release another kit. It's all right to have another tour. It's all right to deflect information away from Arsenal Football Club. Have you noticed that they're still banging on about the Invincibles 20 years later? Bayer Leverkusen, if they avoid defeat, will also be Invincibles of Germany. Do you think Bayer Leverkusen will be dining out on that in 20 years' time?
Probably not.
Probably not. But we do. You don't get a second trophy. You don't get a special points. We won it without losing a game. And if you are brutally honest, and I mean brutally honest, the offside goal at Bolton that wasn't given to them, the dive by Pires at home to Portsmouth, which wasn't a penalty. If you're brutally honest, we had an immense amount of luck. We won 26 games, we drew 12, and we lost none. At this precise moment in time, we've already won 26 games this season, drawn 5, lost 5, with 2 to play. What happens if we don't win it? Are we going to get a "We Tried Hard" sticker, are we? Maybe put a "We Tried Hard" trophy in the cabinet. Can engrave it. We tried hard, but City were just too good. Whereas if we'd have won at Newcastle, Villa did the double over us. Our former manager done the double over us. Now that's not being detrimental. Fulham took 4 points off us. West Ham beat us at home. So if we don't win it, let's look at the reasons why we didn't win it. Let's not say, oh, second twice in a row, it's going great guns. It's not going great guns because we haven't won a trophy since 2020.
Sorry, James, I'm just hearing now that Arsenal have released another home kit.
Yeah, well, what is it? Pink? Pink, is it pink and purple? It's a Chewit kit. You know, I'll go on record again. All you need to stop buying new shirts is a little bit of willpower. That is all you need. I haven't bought any shirt of any make of any player of Arsenal Football Club for 15 seasons. Think how much money I've saved. 15 seasons. How many kits would that be? 60?
No. Yeah.
But I don't. I've got my 71 replicas, which I've worn on this show. I wear them for special occasions, and that's that. That's that. You know, you don't have to wear. You don't have to buy the latest kit to be in. To be seen as a fan. I mean, I attend Arsenal games from Amsterdam, and I've achieved an awful lot. But I've got my memories, and nobody can take my memories away from me, and that's the most important thing. And I just think that you know, we're just as a club, you know, we're just going through the motions. It's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to let Edu and Mikel Arteta do whatever they like. Thick as thieves, the pair of them. You know, Edu with the draw, just pleased to be here, just pleased to be here. Do you think Real Madrid say that? Do you think Bayern Munich say that? Do you think Dortmund say that? Do you think Paris Saint-Germain say that? No, they don't. And that's why they're in the semi-finals and we're not.
So, James, so Bayern, they lost against Stuttgart in their respective league. You don't think that would have any bearing at all?
No, they left Goretzka and Lima on the bench. So the engine, they left the engine on the bench because that's the engine. That's the engine of that team. Those two players start the car and keep the car running, and the others take the car forward. So I think it will be 1-0 to Bayern Munich, and I think Thomas Müller will score.
Okay. What about the other leg? Dortmund against PSG. You know my thoughts, James. You know, ideally, or I'm probably feeling that maybe PSG will probably make it to the final, but you think otherwise, don't you, James?
No. I think Paris Saint-Germain will turn it around. I think it'll be 2-0 for Paris Saint-Germain. And I think it will be a Paris Saint-Germain Bayern Munich final, which Bayern Munich will win. I think the treatment of Marco Reus, any Dortmund fans watching, I'm really sorry that one of your best players is being treated very poorly by an inexperienced manager in Eden Terzic. You don't treat Marco Reus like that. And then it's announced that he's leaving. And then what did the club do? Their Twitter handle, I don't have Twitter, but I saw it online. Just out of curiosity, when I was typing something into the system. They landed in Paris and they put up a photo of Marco Reus saying, just landed in Paris. Are you trying to disrespect him? Are you trying to take the mickey out of him? I found it very, very strange. I would love nothing more than Dortmund in a final, 0-0, free kick, 30 yards out, Marco Reus wins it for him. Because Marco Reus is a brilliant footballer. He's not over the hill. He's not lazy. He's exceptionally gifted, and he's had an awful time with injuries. I would go so far as to say that if he wasn't so injury prone, he would be spoke about in the same sentences and the same breath as Luka Modric, Xabi Hernandez, and Andres Iniesta. But that's just my personal opinion.
But James, wasn't he not linked many years ago, like a lot of players, to Arsenal? Was he? I think it was.
He's 34 years old, right?
Yeah.
I would have him at Arsenal tomorrow. But let's be real here. Let's be real, like we are always real. Arsenal fans, specifically the younger generation, are extremely ageist. Extremely ageist. And let's be real about that. Maybe they have to look up what ageism is in the dictionary. I don't know. But just because you are above 25, you are not at the knackers yard. Can you imagine Arsenal getting Marco Reus next season and being able to rest Odegaard, or being able to bring Odegaard on, or being able to bring Marco Reus on for half an hour? Can you imagine that? What the dynamic it would give? But no, it's all right. We'll stick with Eddie Nketiah as a striker that hasn't scored away for 2 years. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's Marco Reus, brilliant footballer. Grimaldo, I said his name on this podcast many times. Alex Grimaldo. He's on the verge of doing a German treble. And he's a huge part of that. I work for the city council, I'm not a scout. But my eyes do not deceive me. My eyes do not. Ricardo Esgaio, Portuguese champion again. How many times did I say Ricardo Esgaio on this platform? Portuguese champion again for the second time in 3 years. Easy, innit? But no, we don't want that.
I think we might have to extend Cannon Voice for another year. Get you back for another year, James.
No, but
we're not closing down yet.
No, but we've tried to educate in so many ways. I would like to think that we have done that. There's no doubt about that. And pass on all our knowledge to the people. They can do with it what they please. But I just think I'd rather be in my position than some current Arsenal fans, because it's just who you're trying to kid.
Yeah. There's just been some comments in the live chat. One from Mohammed, who says, good evening to you, Mohammed.
Evening.
It says, Manchester United defense is so weak, so Arsenal defending is strong. Well, they play, is it on Saturday?
Sunday.
Right.
But we haven't got a good record at Old Trafford. We haven't won there for 4 years. But we're going to rock up and win on Sunday, apparently. Apparently, we'll put them away in one half.
Tygonosaurus says, good afternoon, very good point. Real Madrid and Dortmund are final for me.
Well, it's always about respecting other fans' opinions, and it should Tygonosaurus be correct, that'd be a great final. Absolutely.
He goes on to say, very true, James, on the younger generation. That's why Alex has been wanted at Arsenal. They wouldn't have me at Arsenal,
I'll go on record now. I'll go on record to all the subscribers of Cannon Fodder on YouTube. I believe we are the first platform related to Arsenal Football Club that have the bottle and the courage to say that the current younger generation of Arsenal football fans are extremely ageist towards good footballers who would be welcome at Arsenal Football Club and could do a job to help us win trophies.
And also, James, like we said, unless a player has certain amount of zeros, our fan base is not interested. Unless they're worth millions and millions and millions, they're not interested.
Well, that says more about them than us, doesn't it? They don't know who Ricardo Esgaio is today. They don't know who Borussia is today. They don't know who Pedraza is today. They don't know who. I was trying to think of another one off the top of my head. Trying to think of another one off the top of my head. Grimaldo, for example. I've been saying these names for many, many years. I didn't pick them out of thin air. I didn't think, that sounds like a nice name. I've actually watched them play football and watched what they do when they haven't got the ball. And Grimaldo is a champion. Esgaio is a champion. Borussia keeps scoring all the time. And Pedraza, European champion, won the Europa League with Villarreal. They're all winners, all of them. Borussia won the Cup with Rennes against Paris Saint-Germain. All of them are winners. But we're allergic to winners. We just want fashion. We just want divas. Yeah. We want divas, and we want someone who's got the subscribers and the Insta As long as they're big on the Insta, I swear to God, they put more weight on his Instagram than actually can he play football.
Ty says, on another note, Alex is so happy. Shaka is, of course.
We both are.
It's just unfortunately.
We both are. But he was the champion before he come to Arsenal. Lo and behold, he won a Swiss title with Basel. To be champion is to be champion. So he was already a champion before he arrived. Didn't become champion with us. Left us and became a champion again. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Oh dear. Do you know what, James? There was going to be another segment in regards to Ask James.
Hey.
And it seems like some people kind of taken the bait, I would probably say. So there are a couple of questions, James, for you, James.
Thank you. First question.
James, where do you think Arsenal are weak today in the team?
Striker and left back, I think. Striker and left back. I think if we had a Grimaldo who can play as a left back and can play as a winger, I wouldn't be saying that. And if we had a striker who was just completely ruthless, it would also release Havertz. Havertz as a number 10, I think that could be a great move. Havertz as a number 10, I think that'd be brilliant. Drifting out to the wing as well. But, if Zinchenko was that good, Man City wouldn't have let him go, would they?
Even Gabriel Jesus as well.
Well, I think he's been a little bit hard done by because he's done so well with the assists. I think he's given the most assists of Arsenal, the most of any player in recent years. So I would give Gabriel Jesus another season. But what I'd also give him is a strike partner, so that he hasn't got to do everything on his own.
But the thing is, with Gabriel Jesus, there was an interview that was on X, and he was asked by the Brazilian coach, Gabriel Jesus, please tell me, where would you prefer to play? And he said, I prefer to play on the wing. I would prefer to play on the wing, on the left-hand side coming in. But we you're right. I mean, he's been hampered by injuries of late. Yeah. But
I think for the people having too much to say about him, I think it's a little bit unfair.
Okay, all right. Next one, again from Tyrannosaurus. James, what player can Arsenal buy that would be transformable like Declan Rice?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. And I'm not sure. It's not that I don't want to rack my brains, but Alex Grimaldo. He's on the verge of winning a treble with Leverkusen. Won multiple titles with Benfica. Spent time in the Valencia youth setup and that of Barcelona. Is technically gifted as a winger, as a left back, dead ball specialist as well. And Alex Grimaldo. But I think he'll go to City. And then on this podcast, what was it last season? Grimaldo. 2 years later, City signing.
James, even under this regime, Grimaldo, you think will be good to play at Arsenal?
I personally could not give two hoots about the regime. What I care about is Arsenal signing brilliant footballers who are champions, who are winners, that can help us become winners and champions. We don't talk about the system. Well, we do talk about the system of Herbert Chapman actually with the WM formation. That's how much of a trailblazer the man was, because nobody played that. So we talk about that 80 years on, 90 years on. But for me, systems and stats, it's deliberately confusing people. But I want winners. I want players that want to fight for the shirt, and I want the club to add to their history. We used to be the biggest club in London. Are we even that now? Chelsea have won 2 Champions League. We haven't won one. They didn't need 28 bites of the cherry, did they?
Yeah. James, just that documentary, 89 documentary, and you see the history being played out. And Jules Graham was saying that when he arrived at Arsenal, he asked his secretary to get the newspaper from the UK.
Yeah.
And do you think that system is redundant? that you could probably look players in the championship, or the lower league and bring them in and make them world beaters? Is that redundant?
No, the system's not redundant. The system is not. The system is not redundant. It's not. It's just. I just think that people are just too scared to have a go. Have a go. Not every team has to play out from the back. Not every team has to play tiki-taka. Pep. The great Messiah Pep. He's only doing what Cruyff did with his own take on it. That's all he's doing. And Cruyff's only doing what he saw Buckingham do and what he saw Michels do. So it's not something that was invented by Pep Guardiola. If it wasn't for Johan Cruyff, nobody would have heard of Pep Guardiola. But again, it's not wanting to know what's gone before. It's just only the here and now. Some have got the memory spans of a goldfish.
Next question was James. Ty Galassora says, Havertz scored 18 goals in 3 seasons for Chelsea and 12 goals in 1 season so far. Is this a success to you, James?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he was heavily criticised, but I think there's more to come from him as well. There's more to. He's been asked to do 2 jobs this year. He's been asked to attack and be a striker. You think what that takes of a player, and I think if we get a proper striker next year, it will give him more room. It will give him more let him off the leash a little bit more, and I think we'll see a different side of him.
Mm-hmm. James, at the beginning of the show, you were saying how the games would be more selective about seeing Arsenal, at least in the European. So Ipswich have been promoted. And Portman Road.
Oh,
now, I might need to ask my wife about permission to go see Arsenal play at Portman Road.
I'd love it. It's up the town. People might not know the first ever Dutch Footballer of the Year, Frans Thijssen, played for Ipswich Town. Arnold Mullen as well. Yeah. Not saying it because I live in their country, but they were 2 extremely gifted footballers. Kieran McKenna, 90 points plus in 2 consecutive seasons.
Wow!
In the 3rd and the 2nd tier, brilliant, and some great players as well. Omari Hutchinson, in which youth setup did he spend 7 years?
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at him now. He's a Premier League player now.
Oh goodness!
So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
And I hope to get to Portman Road next season. That would be lovely. But I'd have to be helped by a couple of friends who know with the away tickets. But you just never know. But looking at the teams that are already in the Champions League for next year, for all the ones that have been confirmed due to their league placing, I've seen all of them apart from Stuttgart, Bayer Leverkusen, and Girona and Leipzig. So we'll just see how it goes. But just take it, see what the draw brings, and see what will happen.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So we're about to come to an end on this latest segment, both James and myself. But just don't forget, okay? Ask James any question you want, football related, film related, lifestyle related. Ask James, and if you want at the end of the show, you can pop your questions in the description box below, and we will respond the next time that we are on Canon 40 TV. Ask James.
Yeah, and even language based. I'm sure there's people today watching this show that are struggling with a foreign language. Just relax. You don't win that fight in one day. It's a fight literally that you never stop learning. You never ever stop learning. But if you keep going and you've got the persistence, you've got the fight, and above all, you've got the hunger. And when you make mistakes, don't get sheepish. You laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself and think, blimey, I used to say that. When I think back to the mistakes that I used to make, I cringe. But the most important thing is that you learn from them. and have a bit, and confidence is so important. Next season, show we're going to do in the run up to the Champions League final, probably I think the last week of May. I'd like to think it'll be a bumper show because it'll be the last one before bowing out on cannon fodder. And it's been a great 5 years of educating people. We look so young in those videos. we look so young, but the worrying thing, Alex, is we're always saying the same thing. We're always saying nearly, not quite, not quite, and that's something I've enjoyed every single show I've done with you, with Terry, with your brother Ralph. Some of the great questions that have come through the years. But we could come on again 10 years later, and I will wonder if much would have changed.
You can only live in hope, James. James, there's one more question for you.
Yeah.
So, how much credit should we give the Cronkies for their involvement in the way Arsenal are playing, James? Whoa, what a question!
It's a great question. Well, I'll turn the question around. It's a brilliant question, but I'll turn it around. Have they done enough to justify their custodianship of Arsenal Football Club? Have they done enough? I don't think they have. I think they're in it for the wrong reasons. LA Rams became Super Bowl champions, have a 1.4 billion stadium, which Arsenal coincidentally play a friendly in the summer. How much of our money's gone into Kroenke's pocket. He sees Arsenal as a great investment. What have we won since he's been in charge? What have we won since he's been in charge? We haven't won anything no Champions League, no Premier League. You don't get nothing for finishing second.
Yeah,
we're not going to get a "we did well" trophy. We're not going to get a "we tried our best" trophy. History will judge us. But we haven't won a title for 20 years. We've never won a Champions League. And we've just, a big part of that is our own attitude towards it. That's from the top down to fans. And, I recall a conversation I had with the guy sitting next to me when I went to the Lens game last November where we won 6-0. He tapped me on the shoulder and he said, United have lost in Istanbul. United, they're not going to get through. I said, it doesn't matter. They've won it 3 times. Won it in 68, won it in 99, won it in 2008. Do you know what his response was?
Oh, no. What was that?
That was years ago. It's not the point. Same trophy. The same trophy we've never won. They've won it 3 times. Our London rivals have won it twice. Aston Villa have won it. Nottingham Forest have won it twice. Man City have won it. Steaua Bucharest have won it. Red Star Belgrade have won it. Barcelona have won it 5 times. Bayern Munich have won it 6 times. Madrid have won it 14 times. Marseille have won it. We have never won it. So let history show that Arsenal have never won the Champions League and they have no one else to blame but themselves.
Yeah. But and you know what, just going back to that question there, James, I give the Cronkies no credit at all for anything, to be honest. If we had an ambitious owner, like James said, they're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
we would have won it a handful of times, but they're in it for the wrong reasons, just using Arsenal as a cash cow. Now I joked about, there's another kick coming through.
Yeah.
Next season, what's going to happen.
Yeah, but
we're going to flock to the armory and buy another kit, and then another kit, and another kit, doing it for the wrong reasons. So I give the Cronkies absolutely no credit at all, James.
But people have, money's tight in England. Money's tight everywhere.
Well,
you don't have to buy it.
So, James, you wouldn't have thought so.
No, but people make a rod for their own back. I was in the Bayern Munich club shop, and what is now the authentic shirt. Well, what's the difference between the authentic shirt and the adult shirt? What's the difference? Patches are still the same. Emblem's still the same. You don't have to buy it. You don't. Go and buy a nice dressing gowns, or go and buy a nice shirt, or go and buy a nice pair of shoes, And also, as you get older, the football shirt, you're wearing a lovely one there, but the commercialism of general football shirts. At certain ages, it's not really the greatest look. I mean, I wear a nice shirt when I'm coming on Cannon Fodder and that kind of thing, you know. But again, as you say, you wouldn't think so, but people make a rod for their own back. I've got all my programs, and that's enough for me. It takes up less space as well, and it's kinder to the environment as well. So yeah, what's that? If the shirt's £80 a pop, and I've foregone 60 shirts, I've saved myself a lot of money, you know.
A lot of money. A lot of money. Can James and Alex stop the Man City coach? So they forfeit the remaining games?
No, it's not as simple as that, though, is it?
Yeah.
Not as simple as that, is it? They spend £7 million a year on their academy. How much do we spend on ours?
We don't show the respect. We don't show the respect it deserves.
Yeah, but if the average Premier League team spends £2.5 million on a academy and City spends £7 million, and Phil Foden is quite rightly the best football player this season, brilliant footballer, and to be so young and to be so accomplished is just nothing short of incredible. And so I would vote for Rice as my Arsenal player of the season, but the footballer of the year, Phil Foden.
I would have gone for Leonard Trossard, to be honest. Cost us £20 million. I think he scored like 6 goals in 8 appearances coming off the bench in the Champions League. But hey,
it's a game of opinion, isn't it? And we always respect each other's opinions, and it's so important. You know, we don't own this game. We are just custodians of it. We just look after it. We just love it. We just see what we see. And I'll sign off tonight by saying to the younger fans watching what I said before, you know, don't be swayed by influences. Don't be swayed by people telling you what you should think. If you rate a player, whether that be in a men's game or in a women's game, if you rate them, stick with them. I tell the world Mark Albright is one of the greatest footballers I've ever seen. Because he is one of the greatest footballers I've ever seen. Apart from Arsenal players, he's my favourite player. He's absolutely and he's a championship winner now. So when Mark Albrighton retires, championship winner, Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Charity Shield winner, with Leicester. The fact that he's not played one game for England is the biggest disgrace of the modern day, in my opinion.
But you know what, James, about that story there, how they got relegated, what I love more than anything else is that they did not leave the club. Jamie Vardy, Mark, they did not. They went down, they stayed the club, and now they've been promoted back into the Premier League.
Well, Albrighton went on loan to West Brom. What was Brendan Rodgers thinking? What was this? Play him, and you won't get relegated. Simple as. But, you know, I'm not a manager, am I?
Yeah. All right, so that is it. Again, guys, don't forget, please, once the show is done, you can continue to put your questions for James Rowe. Ask James any questions you want, indeed.
Even about TalkSport, speaking to Perry Groves and to Shaban, to Henry Winslow and Sean Custis, and I treat everybody the same. You know, whether they're Queen of England or whether they're the road sweeper, they always get the same tone from me. And they always get the same knowledge about football as well.
One more for Tiger on the Sword says, well said, James. Alex and Cannon Fodder has been a class act. Thank you so very much. Those words really mean a lot to us.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's lovely for him to say for giving your time, but that's what we've done. What we try to do in a world full of noise, all we try to do is educate. We don't judge. All we try to do is educate, and I think a lot of people heard us, and I think we changed the game just that little bit.
On that note, it's come to an end. James, when are we back again?
I think we're going to have the final show. We have to discuss it, of course, because it's always about working together. Maybe the Champions League final is on the 1st of June, so maybe we could do the Monday before. Maybe we could do the 27th, perhaps.
Yeah, Yeah, that works well.
And do like an hour show of, you know, reminiscing, answering questions, and
oh, God,
you know, and even with the interviews I've done, or best players that I've seen, you know, because this is the last time I'll be on Cannon Fodder. So for anybody that's enjoyed me through the years, that's enjoyed us together, just come to that last show on the 27th. It could be an hour long, maybe might be an hour and a half, depends what we're going to do. But we'll do our best, and I look forward to imparting more knowledge and more wisdom.
All right, guys. So the next time I believe you will see me might be on Wednesday, I think, and then on Friday for the Easy Talk. But at least for now, James, thank you again for giving us your time. We really appreciate your time on Cannon Fodder TV, and that's it. I may be back on Wednesday, but definitely I'll be back for the Easy Talk this coming Friday. And this, my friends, has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.